We're talking with John. John, you're with Allworth Money Matters.
Hi, Pat and Scott. Thanks for having me on. Can you hear me just fine?
Yes, sir.
Well, I just have to say, if coffee gets too expensive, I won't be switching to tea or Red Bull. I'll be going down with the ship. But
okay. All his money's at coffee now. Can't afford anything else. My coffee is. I spend $1,200 a month on coffee, but
it would be.
How can we help?
Just a little bit about me. I'm 24. I recently graduated just this past spring, so I started my first full-time job 2 months ago. In terms of assets, just my checking and savings, I have about $2,500 in there, and then salary, I'll be making $65,000, and I kind of foresee lots of room for growth in the future, just in the field that I'm in. Hopefully, I'm hoping within 5 to 6 years, I'm at least somewhat close to six figures. And I believe that's pretty realistic. Monthly expenses, I'm kind of in a blessed situation living with my brother, but so I'm just around $1,500 a month.
In expenses?
Yeah, around $1,500 a month. Just excluding some bigger picture stuff that I have outlined. Within the next year or two, I'd like to buy a truck, maybe within the range of $25,000 to $30,000, and maybe putting $10,000 down on it. So. And then maybe in 4 years, saving for a house. But so that's kind of some bigger picture stuff I have over the next few years.
I love this call. John?
I have no debt. Oh,
I love this call.
Debt. I was also blessed. I went to Weber State University, and so it was relatively cheap and still provided pretty good schooling. And for I had gas, my parents helped me out.
Do you have any student loans? Student loans?
No, no loans. So for retirement accounts, I do have a Roth IRA that I was putting a little bit in during school, but it just has $1,100 in it. For a 401k, I can't contribute yet. I have to wait until after being 3 months with the employer. So that'll be next month. But once that happens, I definitely want to contribute, quite a bit amount, and they'll also match up to 5%. And I have an HSA as well, so it's at 0, but I'm trying to max it out this year so that I can obtain the investment aspect sooner, because I think I have to have $2,000 in there before they'll let me invest it.
What was your degree in?
Supply chain management. So I'm a buyer here in the Salt Lake region.
And what's your main question for us?
So I have a few questions. One is just, how much should I allocate to retirement accounts? So I've kind of built a spreadsheet because my main goals is I want to make sure that I have enough to save up for a house and, still being able to, fulfill my expenses.
And what's a house cost in your area?
What's that?
What's a house cost in your area?
I haven't done too much looking, but like I said, I'm kind of thinking 4 years out. My brother bought a house 4 years ago, and he was lucky enough that he got a 2.6 interest rate before everything kind of spiked. And he bought his for $400,000, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2 baths. I don't know how many acres it is. It's kind of like your standard house. Home prices are a little bit pricey here in general. If you talk to anyone in Utah that's looking for a home, everyone will complain that that they're overpriced or whatever. So I can't answer that question.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my. Just remember this: it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich girl as a poor one. That was advice from my grandmother, which I did not take.
All right. So we'll give you some financial. By far, your best investment is in your own career.
100%.
So it's interesting because you see a lot of these articles. Well, if you start saving in an IRA, $2,000, whatever, then at age 22, or if you wait till 30, okay, that's all great. And most people are 22 are dead broke, right? So your ticket to financial independence is going to be more reliant upon what you can deliver in the marketplace and what you can negotiate to get paid for in the marketplace, much more than what you're going to save in financial assets.
Which means another way of saying, be the first one in the office and the last one to leave and the most productive person that you have ever met.
Figure out how to continue to increase your skill sets. You're more valuable to the marketplace.
Act like an owner, not like an employee.
Right.
And by far, and I see it in our own organization with young people that come out of college. Some have this attitude, which is, I'm going to really give it up for the company. And others have an attitude, which is, hey, this company owes me something. What do you mean? There's more than 40 hours a week? Well, yeah. As I tell my own children, I have 4 in your age range. You would be my youngest. It's a half-time job. You can work any 12 hours of the day you want, right? Which doesn't always go over well. But you know why I love this goal? So we, over the 4th of July weekend, 2 of my children had their friends up. We've got a little cabin at Lake Tahoe, had their friends up, and 3 of their friends stepped aside and asked me questions like financial, like, this is what I've got, this is how I'm doing, what do you think? And my answer is exactly the answer Scott gave you.
So we'll help you, like the financial things to do. But if you find yourself spending a lot of time on your spreadsheet, I'd spend more time on how do you be more valuable to your employer and to the marketplace and whole. Not so much follow your dreams.
Yeah.
Or do what you love. It's the balance between what you're good at, what you love, and what the marketplace will pay for.
And what you love is number 3 on the list.
Or learn how to love what pays you well. Right? I mean, kind of a financial independence is your goal. So having said all that, I think the Roth IRA is your best place to start. Even if you want to use the money for purchase of a house, any of your contributions can come out tax-free. So
right.
You can
so that was
$7,000 a year. You can throw $7,000 a year in there, and you could say, all right, this is either going to be money for all my contributions are money for a down payment. That's you already have one open, so we're good. It's either going to be used for a down payment, or if for some reason I've got enough money elsewhere, I can leave that for my retirement. It gives you that flexibility.
Right.
And then you want to do the maximum in the 401k as well.
Yeah. So, that's what I have. My spreadsheet's kind of static. It doesn't take into account if I, do get, bonuses or
when,
maybe
not do, not do, when, because you're going to work your butt off and you will get the bonuses. So it's not when I do, when I get the bonuses.
I'll tell them that Pat said that I'm going to get bonuses.
Please do. Yeah. Well, don't forget. Look, it's so we've been employers for a number of years, and people get not only what they deserve, but also what they negotiate. And those that have worked hard and also come periodically like, hey, here's why I need more money. As an employer, you end up, I hate to say it, that's just kind of how it works. They end up getting paid a little more. So don't.
Yeah. Ask early, ask often.
You don't want to ask too often,
but make sure you bring in value. The worst thing is an employee that actually doesn't add a lot of value and is actually on the edge. And they continue to ask for it because you're like, I'm not even going to have the conversation.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but your needs at home are not my problem, really.
Do you remember the one guy that came in because his wife wanted a boat?
No, I don't.
And he needed a raise because his wife wanted a boat. You don't remember this?
No.
Well, we probably had 20 employees at the time. I thought this is the craziest thing.
That is hilarious. Your personal wants and desires at home is completely irrelevant to what the market needs.
Yeah, I don't see how your wife wanting a boat actually affects my business, but go for it. So, so maximum into the 401k and the Roth IRA?
So, I guess, I was just going to say, since it is static, my spreadsheet, I was going to say, right now I'm allocating that I can have like 20% from my salary going to my 401k. Should I maybe lower that just in case I have some other unknown?
I would probably lower. I'm not too terribly concerned about your financial security going forward. And let's make sure you have that money for a house.
Yeah.
So maybe you put in 10% in your 401k. And do the Roth.
As long as, and you sound disciplined, obviously. You're calling a financial talk show. You're 24 years old.
That's right. We're not worried about you.
You show me someone that doesn't worry about money. I'll show you someone that doesn't have any. You sound very disciplined. Yes. And then start saving it and then put it in a high yield money market, the money that you want to save for a home.
put it in the high yield money market. That was
Correct.
one of my other questions.
Yeah.
And along with that, just like, so you were saying for the house, initially I was thinking that the Roth IRA would be a great place for it because I could pull the contributions.
Yeah.
But then I got thinking, well, if I want it in 4 years, is that actually a bad place because the market's
No, invest it in a secure type investment. Invest it in a high yield money market account. Don't worry about the market.
In the Roth IRA.
Yeah, that's what I would do. It just gives you the flexibility at that point. If you don't need it, you've got all this extra money that you're
Roth.
never going to be taxed on.
Yeah, in the Roth. So it just gives you that flexibility. So remember, the tax vehicle isn't the investment vehicle.
That's right.
So the tax vehicle is the Roth, but because they allow the withdrawals from the Roth, the deposit's tax-free. Go figure.
It's been that way since first Senator Roth came out with it.
Yeah. When they're trying to make the tax code easier. So that's what I would do.
With an emergency fund, I do also want to start building one up over the next 4 years. Do people typically just put those in a high yield savings account?
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But again, invest in yourself.
Right. Let's see if I had. And then in terms of like where I should be invested in the Roth, I mean, you were saying money markets, but in general in the Roth IRA, outside of, for a house or whatever down the road.
Money market. So look, if you're planning on buying a house in 4 years, the worst thing you could do is say, I'm going to invest in this ETF or this growth thing. And you get to the point where, your income's up, you've got some money saved, you're now about to go look at houses, and there's a downturn in the financial markets, and your $50,000 that you've got set aside for a down payment is now worth $35,000.
And you won't buy the house. But to your point exactly, John, which is, look, keep it in the money market. If you don't need that money,
then you invest it later.
Then you invest it. So you buy a house and you didn't need the money in the Roth, then you invest it. And 100% of your portfolio for long term should be in equities.
Yes.
So
100%.
The S&P 500 though?
Or a total market, maybe some international as well.
When you say total market, you just mean the S&P, right?
No.
S&P 500.
Wilshire 5000.
Which includes the Wilshire 5000, which includes the S&P 500.
So if you look at the market cap of the United States, and then the ballpark, 75% is comprised of the S&P 500, 15% are in mid-cap stocks, and the remainder in small-cap stocks. Somewhere right in there. Right?
Yeah, it's 7.5.
Whatever. It's ballpark, right?
Correct.
Ballpark. And so it may be something like 75 or 80% in the total market, and the remainder in international markets.
Okay.
And I know that the last several years, internationals have not done as well, but things go through cycles, and over the long period of time, I think you'd be well suited by having some.
Okay. My last question I have for the HSA, like I was telling you, I have nothing in there right now since I just started with my employer, but I was planning on maxing it out this year so I can just start investing that sooner.
Yep.
And then over the next years, I thought, well, maybe I'll just invest, half of the max, so like $2,200 or whatever. But how much does someone actually need in their HSA? Like, if do I want to have $100,000? When I'm 60, retired, or whatever.
If you're putting in $2,000 a year, you're gonna have more than $100,000 by the time you're 65. Well, who knows what the laws are going to be? I mean, these are.
Yeah, the HSA should be the last investment vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how much do you recommend putting in there? I guess I just don't know.
You want to maximize that after you've accomplished all your other objectives.
Yeah. So the 401k to the maximum.
I've maxed mine out for the last several years. I don't take any withdrawals from it.
As have I, but we're not 24-year-old.
I understand.
John.
So I wouldn't, if I was 24, I probably wouldn't worry about maximizing.
Yeah, I'd use the 401k. I would use the Roth IRA.
I'd rather have money in a Roth than money in an HSA.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I would use the HSA. I question that. I would do the 401k to the maximum first, the Roth IRA to the maximum, then, only then would I start using the HSA as an investment vehicle.
Okay.
Right? In that order.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Well,
what did your parents do for a living, John?
Well, my dad growing up was a cop up until about when I was the age of 8, and then he moved over. He's spent the last 18 years or so working for an oil and gas company, but he's a field tech.
Oh, okay.
And so he makes pretty
No,
decent
and the
money
reason
now.
I asked
why'd you
the
ask the question?
is because I'm thinking this kid sounds like he was raised by a pack of engineers.
Well, well, I guess you could say I lived with my brother for the past 4 years, and he's a welding engineer.
Okay.
He'd probably say that he raised me. So
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, keep up the great work. You're fine. We're fine. Remember, it's bring value to the marketplace.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's by far, in a way, where you're going to create wealth. So appreciate the call, John.